Welcome to our kitchen. Today we prepare medieval peas with salted meat from Maestro Martino's Libro de Arte Culinaria, dating back to the 15th century. We start with ingredients. We need cured meat, dried peas, verjuice, cinnamon, and sugar. First, we boil the peas. We cook them for about 15 minutes, and we'll cook them again for a few minutes with the other ingredients. The cooking time depends on the variety of peas. If you use fresh peas, you just need to give them a boil, as suggested by the author. Maestro Martino is one of the most famous medieval Italian cooks and the author of an extensive book that collects more than 200 recipes for the fat and lean days, for all the typical medieval preparations of meat, fish, pies, pasta, soups, and vegetables. Maestro Martino, considered by the humanist Platina the prince of the cooks, was born around 1430 and worked for the Patriarch of Aquileia, to whom he dedicated his Libro de Arte Culinaria. Maestro Martino's recipes are generally quite detailed, and his book is halfway between a cookbook and a treatise that explains the most important principles of the culinary art. Meanwhile, we grind the cinnamon and sugar and slice the cured meat. The author writes to use carne salata vergellata, which means cured meat with both lean and fat parts. We chose to use a leaner cut, such as a speck. You may use guanciale, pancetta, or bacon, and you will have an excellent outcome. In the Antiquity and Middle Ages, meat was preserved by salting and smoking, and in the representations of medieval markets that we find in the Taquina Sanitatis, there are paintings of merchants who sell the various cuts of salted pork. In medieval Italian cuisine, it is mainly used cured pork, but in the cookbooks of other countries, for instance France, we find several kinds of salted meat. For this recipe, the author recommends either sugar or sapa, which is concentrated grape juice. We use brown sugar, though for high-end medieval cooking, it's more common white sugar. But if you want to make sapa, you have to pound grapes in the mortar, sift the juice, and boil it down until its volume reduces by half. Verjuice may be substituted with another acidic juice, for example lemon or orange juice, or vinegar, as recommended by the medieval authors. We fry the speck for a couple of minutes, add the peas, verjuice, sugar and cinnamon, and cook for a few more minutes. If you use a fatter cured meat, you don't need to add oil. If you want to know more about late medieval cooking, check out our book, Registrum Coquine, a medieval cookbook. Our book contains the translation of the Registrum Coquine, a commentary and a glossary. If you are interested in the passage between the Antiquity and Middle Ages, we recommend our new book, De Observatione Ciborum, Early Medieval Recipes at the Court of the Franks. To read further articles and translations of ancient and medieval sources, check out our Patreon page. On Amazon you also find our book about Roman cuisine, titled Ancient Roman Cooking. All our books are available in ebook and print editions in English and Italian. To support our work, you can also buy us a beer or purchase our merchandise. You find all the links in the description below. Though we used a few simple ingredients, this dish turned out tasty and savory. The smokiness of speck blends very well with the sweetness of peas, cinnamon and sugar, and the mild sourness of verjuice. It's important to avoid adding too much sugar to prevent this dish from being excessively sweet. 2 pinches of sugar and 2 tablespoons of verjuice are enough for 100 grams of peas. This dish pairs very well with medieval pasta, for example lasagna or gnocchi. You find the links in the description below. If you're interested in ancient foods and flavors, subscribe our channel and consider supporting us on Patreon.